Hey everyone, welcome back to Losing It for Good. Today I want to talk about something that's super important for staying on track with this journey, and that's tools. Tools can make all the difference between feeling overwhelmed and feeling like you've got a handle on things. I'll share the ones I'm using, what's working for me so far, and a few lessons I guess I learned this past week. Now, this is going to be uploaded on Friday, but the stats are from Monday, so I apologize. It was a crazy week. Anyways, before we get into it, let's quickly recap last week. In the last video, I shared why I decided to go the medically supervised route for my weight loss. For me, combining Mounjaro, Boost meal replacement shakes, and factor prepared meals feels like the right fit. It's structured, it's manageable, and it eliminates a lot of stress, like meal prep and dishes. I also talked about why I decided against surgery. Honestly, it just, for me, feels too drastic, and the risks and recovery time weren't something I was comfortable with. If you missed that video, be sure to check it out after this one. Now, let's talk about last week. Or this week, but last week. Last week, my weight was 301.2. And this week it's 301.6. So that's a small gain, but it's not the end of the world. This week was really stressful, and I mean really stressful, and I was exhausted most of the time, like falling asleep, standing up exhausted. The good news, I did pretty well increasing my movement. The not so good news was I was a bit lax with using MyFitnessPal for tracking my food intake. I've never been good at keeping track of these things, or sticking to things. But I have learned that when I'm tired or stressed, it's just so much harder to make good choices. And, that's okay, because that's all part of the process. And it's part of the learning experience and getting used to routine and structure, which is not my forte. So let's dive into the tools that are helping me on this journey. These are things I've been using to mostly stay on track, but definitely to make life easier and to keep myself motivated and accountable. First up, Mounjaro. If you're not familiar with it, Mounjaro is a once weekly injection that helps with appetite control, blood sugar regulation, and digestion. It's not just about weight loss, though. It has many other health benefits, and the big one for me is reducing inflammation. My last blood work showed very high elevated inflammation, and it's really good for improving metabolic health. So for me, it's a tool to help me stay consistent and manage hunger, especially during those tougher days or weeks or months or whatever it's going to be. I've only just started the Mounjaro, so I can't give you any feedback on how that is going, but I will let you know for sure on the next video, because I'll have done it for a few days by then. So the next are the Boost meal replacement shakes. I've chosen the Protein Plus because I'm not so good at getting my protein in, and breakfast apparently is supposed to be a good time for doing that. But they're quick, they're convenient, and they're just packed with nutrients. Honestly, it's so much easier for me to just grab a Boost shake in the morning than to figure out what to make. Plus, it's one less decision to worry about, which is a win for me. Um, and then there's Factor, prepared meals. Factor meals are amazing. Like, they taste so good. They're fresh, they're chef prepared, and they're never frozen. Um, they're ready in just a few minutes, literally like 2 minutes and 20 seconds. No cooking, no cleanup, just heat and eat. For someone like me who doesn't love cooking, and that's probably putting it mildly, I could maybe even use the word hate, but I would rather not. Um, these are a lifesaver. And I know I'm getting healthier, balanced dinner without the stress. And I have actually been using them for a few months now. I've been using Factor for a few months, and I just love them. They've really helped to bring my weight down just on their own before I even started doing this officially, this channel. So, okay, so now let's talk about a few other tools that I've added recently. And these might seem simple, but they've made a big difference. So first, having regular check-ins with my doctor. Having the medical supervision, it keeps me on track, and it ensures that everything I'm doing is safe and effective. It's also great to have someone who can adjust my plan if needed and answer any questions I have along the way. So second is MyFitnessPal. Okay, I'll admit it, I wasn't as consistent with this app as I should have been this week, but when I do use it, it's a game changer. MyFitnessPal helps me stick to my caloric goal, and that's going to be different for everybody. Mine happens to be around 1700, so between 15 and 1700. And that's just to make sure that I'm eating enough without overdoing it. Sometimes when you're tired or stressed, it's easy to undereat or snack too much without realizing it. And tracking everything just gives me that clearer picture of what it is that I'm doing right or I'm doing wrong. And maybe also to show me when I'm being inconsistent and not consistent, which is the same thing. I mean, and third is YouTube. I've been really finding it beneficial for low pack exercises. There's so many great videos out there for low pain movement, things like I showed you in my last video, chair yoga, gentle stretching, or even short walking routines. And these have been a huge help for me getting started with movement in a way that feels doable. Plus they're free, which is always a bonus. So what has this past week taught me? Consistency with these tools is just as important as having them in the first place. Stress and fatigue aren't going away, at least not anytime soon. So it's all about ways to find to stay on track. And even during these harder weeks, for me, that means I should be doubling down on MyFitnessPal and making time for those small and manageable movements. Now, moving forward. Now, here's this week's challenge for me, for you guys. And of course, take it with a grain of salt. It all depends on what level you're at and where you're at in your journey. But pick one tool, just one, and use it consistently this week. Maybe it's tracking your food or trying a new low impact exercise or setting up a meal plan if you do like to cook. For me, I'm going to be focusing on logging everything into MyFitnessPal and sticking to that caloric intake. It also helps to measure your protein and your other things that you want to track, like sugar and salt and things like that. So it's a really fantastic tool, and you can just scan the barcodes. You don't have to look up a bunch of stuff or type it all in. It pretty much has everything in there. So just remember, tools are here to support us, not to make things harder. The key is finding what works for you and using it to make this journey feel just a little bit easier. Um, Progress isn't about perfection. I've said that a few times. It's about showing up for yourself, even on those tough days. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share in the comments what's the one tool that you're going to use to stay on track this week. I'd love to hear your ideas and any tips that you might have. Also, if you know any friends or family that you think might enjoy this channel, please share it with them and let them know about it. And the more people we get, the more impactful it'll be. Next week, I'll be diving into even more strategies on keeping momentum going. Anyways, stay strong, stay healthy, and just keep moving in the right direction. That's the best we can say. That's the best we can do. And yeah, thank you for being here. And let's keep going with losing it for good. Take care. Bye.